Hi, it's Chris Schrack, results coach and owner of Performance with Power. I recently had dinner with three very close friends, all of which happen to be in sales gigs. They come from entirely different industries, but are all compensated based on their sales performance, commission sales. And I brought up this topic to hear their feedback on whether or not this would be a good marketing idea to attract people to come to Performance with Power, and especially for advice. And in a matter of minutes, something happened that I didn't expect at all. The tables seemed to erupt in outbursts from each one of them on a very personal level. Shocking to me, three very professional top producers started throwing out all their issues with their current bosses and the companies that they work for. I thought they were happy and completely satisfied in their jobs. And here's what I know is a fact: they're all amazing people, 100% accountable, self disciplined, they're focused team players, and top income producers in each one of their fields. And they were all considering making a move this year. Their issues with their companies continued to start spilling out over this table as if they despise the companies they work for. So I took this as an opportunity to drill down a bit so I can get a better understanding of their situation to maybe be able to better serve you. So here's what their top 5 issues were. Number 1, the feeling of being underappreciated. Number 2, having leadership whose egos were so high they kept getting in the way of production. Number 3, that their leadership was unfair in certain situations and could care less about sensible feedback. Number 4, that they didn't feel secure with the company they work for. And number 5, more significant than all the other things combined, was that there was an overwhelming consensus at this table of the feeling of having to put in way too many hours, taking away a sense of balance in life and fulfillment. One of them said, and forgive me for saying this language, but I'll quote, "I work way too hard for the amount of I have to put up with." And that person that said this is a top 1% producer nationally. He's an asset and would be highly attracted and appreciated by any sales organization in the market. Being a coach specialized with salespeople and entrepreneurs all around the world, this question comes to me often. It's even crossed my mind as a thought when I used to work for companies. So I'm guessing that you're here for one of 2 reasons. Number 1 is that you're on the tipping point of leaving the company that you work for and you don't know how, or you're not quite sure, don't have the confidence yet. Or number 2, you're a leader in your organization and you're concerned that your people might want to quit, so you want to know what they know by reviewing this information as well. So let me put you both at ease. Could we agree that all of us that are here watching this share more in common than we think? This is less about you quitting or leaving your company, and it's more about the connection within each of us. That our desire is to make more money, to have more fun doing it, feeling valued in our workplace, to be happier, and to not kill ourselves while we're trying to make a living. That's it. So enough backstory. Let me share with you, without knowing your specific story or situation, some general advice I'd give anyone who has this question. The question is this: Chris, I'm frustrated. I'm considering quitting my company. It's a bit scary. How do I know when it's time? Can you help me with this? This is the advice in general that I'd give. The first is this: I'm going to recommend that you hit the pause button and take a breath. Ask yourself, is it possible that you're being reactive? Reactive to something. Has there been something that's happened recently that has you in a reactionary mode? I know I'm asking a lot of you because these times can be highly charged emotionally. But have you had something happen that has you in a reactionary mode? Let's consider a recent change in your commission or pay structure, a change expected in the type of days or hours of your schedule, a request that seems outside your work scope, a shift in leadership, other people leaving the company recently, a change in the company's process, a heated exchange or disagreement with someone at work. If the answer to any of these is yes, or there's something that you could easily add to this list, I highly recommend thinking a little bit about your situation. The most successful people I know have learned and understand the power of responding versus reacting. The reactionary decision leads on a path that we regret. There's a lack of wisdom to those who are reactionary in their career decisions. The key here is to be disciplined to respond versus react. The second is to self-evaluate. What I'm suggesting here is a process built around your character as a professional. Being the man, being the woman who's a professional enough to look at yourself in all situations. I'm not suggesting your manager, your company didn't legitimately piss you off. I'm not deferring that they may have done something that has wronged you. I'm merely suggesting to champion up and think bigger than the problems that you're dealing with in this moment. I hope you're not here for fluff because I'm not interested in all that. My goal is to help you move forward in your decision process with confidence. And that requires you to step in and do your part. Self evaluation is that part. So ask yourself, without focusing on the problem or the problems, on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the highest possibility, ask yourself the following question. On a scale of 1 to 5 in the last 90 days, have I been 100% committed to my position, job, or company? 100% is 100%. So let me share with you what 100% means from a success coach's perspective. In the last 90 days, have you chosen to wake up early and be energized in the morning? Have you been prepared and ahead of time in all situations at work? Are you leaning in, participating in all the trainings, meetings, and company functions with enthusiasm? Have you showed up early to work and stayed as late as you needed? Have you participated in your own self-development? You've been learning and growing on the side on your own. Have you had your mind focused on the solutions versus the problems in all situations? And have you gone the extra mile? After years of coaching, I found this question, when answered honestly, an eye-opener to me. But more importantly, it's a big eye-opener for my clients. It's not common for many people to open by telling me they've been 100% until I start asking them a few more questions. In a matter of minutes, the facts begin to reveal themselves. I hear things like, well, lately I haven't felt good about my situation, so maybe I haven't given it as much as I thought I was. Or I'm not getting up as early. In fact, I've been hitting the snooze button. I've had one foot in and one foot out for quite some time, and since then, I really haven't given it my all. To be honest with you, Chris, since I don't feel connected with my manager or my company, I haven't been as focused as much. If you can get honest about this question and find that your rating is anything but a 5, then I'm going to recommend it and make a suggestion. This isn't going to be easy for some of you to consider, but it's the truth. You've been cheating yourself, you've been cheating your leadership and your company, your clients, and more important, you've been cheating your family of being the best version that you can be. By you not being a 5, it means that you've been feeding the issues more than you've been feeding your family. It's as if you allowed your character as a professional to be flawed since the company had an injustice. So I want to recommend to you that before you make any bold or rash decisions, to consider the idea of what I call a 90-day plan. The 90-day plan is this: to make a new commitment over the next 90 days to be 100% in. Then and only in at that period should you evaluate your situation. I've had client after client I've made this recommendation to, and I'm 100% on this feedback, that they thanked me even before the 90 days were up, saying it was the best advice they'd ever been given. Their new awareness felt like a breath of fresh air. Their results became better, their energy improves, and somehow, miraculously, the current company situation seemed to be better, and best of all, they even felt happier. If at the end of the 90 days, after a full 100% commitment of your own, if you're still feeling like making a move, at least now your attitude, your self-image, and your confidence to find something better is going to be much higher than leaving before you gave it 100% in those last 90 days. One client I shared this concept with ended up staying at the company she worked for another year and a half, performing at an extraordinary level, only to position herself to land her absolute dream job. She's now making more income working with a team of people she likes and doing what she really loves. For her, the 90-day plan was the right path. If you happen to be a 5, of which I've yet to meet someone that's honest in a 5, when they've been thinking about leaving a company, but if that's you, I recommend getting out now. Understand that your situation is as rare as a unicorn, but if that's you, I'd suggest resigning today so you can open up yourself for the next opportunity. At this point, you're taking up space in your current company, and it's time to make a change. Number 3, the grass looks greener over there. We've all been attracted to our thoughts of our competition or the next gig. You do anything over a period of time, it's expected that things are going to look greater elsewhere. We hear from someone how much money you can make over here, how flexible their hours are, how great their management team is. But isn't that what you thought and people said about the company you work for now that attracted you to work there in the first place? Of course it is. So, my caution to you is that unless you have the know how, resources, and desire to be an entrepreneur and start your own business, every company you consider working for is going to have their own share of issues. I hate this comparison, but I heard it from a comedian that all companies are like dogs. They can have things about them that you like, but at the end of the day, every single one of them has fleas. Being an entrepreneur myself, I'd say that in many instances, business owners may have even more fleas when it comes to their business. So before you just ship out, consider in your thoughts the grass is always green over there, but that's only because you don't know the other side of the story yet. Be careful of being lured by the big, shiny new thing until you've considered the current challenges you have going on now. In most cases, if you talk to the right person, you'll find someone at that company with the same similar issues that you have now. Number 4 is a question. How are you doing with what I call the personal arena of your life? This is another critical and often overlooked and misunderstood issue that can cause a symptom of not being happy where you work. It's like having the flu and finding it just a lot easier to stay home on the couch versus going into work. Our personal issues have a significant impact on our feelings in our workplace. So be careful and have an awareness not to cross contaminate your personal life issues into your business life. Have you been at your healthiest self lately? Are you eating well? Are you sleeping well? Are you working out? Do the relationships in your life feel expansive lately? Are you laughing often and having fun outside of work? Are you doing hobbies that you love? Are you growing and developing yourself? If you notice that you've not been your best self in your personal arena, consider making some changes today, especially before you throw in the towel. It's possible that you've manifested and magnified more issues in the workplace than are actually there. Don't make the mistake of giving your company up or so much power by saying the reason you're not doing this thing is that you've been unhappy at work. Shame on you. That's a cycle of defeat no matter how far you look at it. You start making the changes now in your personal arena, and it'll have a positive effect on everything else you do. This may be your greatest opportunity yet. Number 5, the last thing to consider is this. Does your management, the company, the organization you work for, do they align with your core values? Unfortunately, most people don't always understand why they're not feeling it anymore. It's often expressed to me, Chris, I'm just not feeling it. I'm not as motivated. I don't feel like giving it my all for them anymore. I found that with some clients and a little more discovery, that there are times when a company is not in alignment with their core values. Let me give you an example of this. An example would be that I'm in sales and I have a core value of selling with honesty and integrity, a clean pitch, they call it. But the current company could give a shit about a clean pitch. They'd lie, cheat, and steal to earn business, and that wouldn't be in alignment with my core values. Or I have a core value of having a high priority of spending time with my family, of not spending so much time at work that I feel that I neglect the ones that I love the most and the quality experiences I'd like to have with them. But your company expects you to work 6 days a week, including weekends and holidays. That would not be in alignment with your core values. So this could be happening to you. But I recommend you don't go there if you haven't done steps 1 or 2 thoroughly first. I'd invest some time figuring out what your core values are as well. Another client of mine, a top producer, probably my highest income producer to date, said that learning about and identifying his core values through my support as a coach was one of the most significant and profound things that he's ever done in his entire life. It helped him prioritize what was important. It gave him a flood of ideas, tapping into more creativity and how he could be more productive and have a deeper connection with his own company. He went on generating the best year he's ever had in all areas of his life. So I'll give you what I gave him. Go out and Google the word core values. There's a list of 100 core values out there. Go through that list and identify your top 5. And once you've done that, see how your core values align with your company's current values. This will either help support your decision to stay or give you the courage, confidence, and wisdom to move on. It's a tool to help you build your case nonetheless. So I hope this has helped you. I know this, that we spend one heck of a lot of time with our coworkers and the companies we represent. And every day you're not feeling it is a day of missed opportunity. That's expensive to us, and the price is just too high to pay. If you're still indecisive, reach out to speak to me personally. Click here for my calendar to schedule a conversation. Sometimes a great conversation with a neutral third party that has no agenda or attachment is what we need the most. At Performance with Power, we believe that your next decision can change the rest of your life. So go out today and make a great decision.